Kelly, Dubin, Williams, MCAT, Zach Jones. And in 206, we have Commissioners Strohmeyer, Slotnick, Vero, Chris Sonsbury, John Hart, Emmy Bristow, Ann Hughes, Kathy, and Carrie Powers.
Excellent. Thank you, Annie. Is there any public comment on items not on today's agenda? Seeing none, we have a consent agenda before us today with originally 5 items. We are postponing or at least taking off the agenda today, item number 3. Are there any other items that need to be pulled from the consent agenda for discussion? Or an entertaining motion?
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second that. Any further discussion on the consent agenda or public comment? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. That takes care of everything on the consent agenda, and we're going to be doing something a little bit different today. We have an action item that is scheduled to occur at 10:30 a.m. So without objection, we will be recessing until 10:30. So this is I think a record as far as putting at least half of an admin in 2.5 minutes. So we will be recessed until 10:30, and feel free to stay on the line, I guess, and we'll be back.
Thank you.
So it is the Tucker family transfer and aggregation. And Zach, please tell us what we're considering today.
Yeah. So thanks again, Dave. This is another go around at the Tucker family transfer with a slightly different lot configuration that we will see later in the presentation, and also aggregation. And it's located at 8000 Nature Drive. Gary and Rebecca Tucker are the applicants, represented by Montana Northwest Company. And I'm Zach Jones with Planning, Development, and Sustainability with Missoula County. This is an overview just showing where the property is located, where my cursor is. It is southwest of Lolo. And Nature Drive is this road that accesses the residence that is on the property now, which goes out through this subdivision over here. This red line is Highway 12, and this is Highway 93. And the property is unzoned. So this is the existing conditions on the property. It's 153.65 acres. And like I said before, there's one existing residence on the property, which has a private road, Nature Drive, that accesses it. I'll talk a little bit more about this when I show the proposed conditions, but there's actually a already approved boundary line relocation, which is to address some encroachment of structures from the neighbor's property there, which will be filed on the same survey as the family transfer.
So those existing structures are owned by the folks who own tract C.
Yeah, and the proposed will show that better too. So this proposal will create one new tract, which will be transferred to the Tucker's adult child, Jessica Overbaugh, and also aggregate a boundary line, which was created by Book N, page 500 of deeds, which I will also explain more later. And this is the proposed conditions and lot layout. So as you can see, the whole thing will be split right here, and tract 8A will be transferred to Jessica Overbaugh, and the Tuckers will retain the larger tract 8B. And this is what I was talking about before with the boundary line relocation, which PDS has already reviewed and approved. It hasn't been filed yet because it will be filed on the same survey as the family transfer. So the neighbors just had some sort of structure that was just poking into the property a little bit and wanted to address that. So just the boundary line relocation there.
I can't see that number. Is it 3.5 feet or what does that say?
Yeah, I think it is 3.8 feet from this new boundary to the structure right there.
Oh, that's what that is. Okay, I thought it was poking in 3.8
It's a
feet.
tiny little bump. It's
Mhm.
like,
Yeah, they built the garage on our property. So we went back, I think 15 feet is the overall, just to give some room, other than, it was either that or tell them to tear their shop down.
Yes.
Like,
jeez.
I'm a jerk, but not that bad. So that's all we could come up with, is just make a jog around it and
Tim Warley's.
It's who?
Tim Worley.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Zach.
So in our review of the general evasion criteria and rebuttable presumptions, the only thing that really came up, and this is not considered to be a subdivision evasion thing, it's just something that's worth mentioning, is this one about applicants owning other tracts of land in the county. So Gary Tucker co-owns with Mackie Jody Lynn Tucker 168-acre tracts just north of Highway 12, west of Lolo. Jessica Overbaugh does not own any other tracts of land in the county, and we have no reason to think that this is anything to do with subdivision evasion. It's just one of our criteria. And for agency comments, the only one we got, which we actually got in the earlier iteration of this family transfer, was, I guess, re-commented by the clerk and recorder's office about this old potential tract of record from book N, page 550 of deeds. So this family transfer is also an aggregation request in order to expunge this boundary. And this is what clerk and recorders also sent me, showing that boundary, which looks to be like an old section line or something of that nature. So I guess with that, I will go ahead and ask these questions that we ask applicants for family transfers. Gary, if you could just, yes, we don't have a microphone that has to be spoken into, but could you state your name for the record?
Gary Tucker.
Okay. And did you buy the property with the intent of dividing it?
No, absolutely not.
Do you or your transferees intend to transfer the property within the next year?
Nope.
Have you talked to anyone at the county about going through subdivision review?
No,
And will the properties be developed?
not to my knowledge, no.
And will the recipients of the property be residing on the property?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So our recommendation is to approve the request for aggregation and family transfer as presented in the subdivision exemption affidavit. And that is all I have for presentation, and I can take any questions.
Before we do, Mr. Tucker, anything that you'd like to share that we've not already discussed?
No, we went through this once before and we changed our mind. Our younger kids just aren't in a position to do anything yet. Our older one is, so that's why we're going back through this. We probably will visit you again someday down the
For
road.
the third Tucker family transfer? Okay. All right, thank you.
If I had a crystal ball, I'd let you know,
But that's all right. This is a public hearing, so is there anyone online who would like to offer comment on the proposed aggregation and family transfer? Right. Questions?
Only question I have, and I could have just missed this, I apologize. I totally get the transfer piece and what, creating a new lot, but I missed the aggregation part.
Mm-hmm. Yep, so that is in response to a comment we received from the clerk and recorder's office about this.
Ghost line?
Just expunging the red line from.
Is that what that is?
Is that?
Yes,
Okay,
yeah,
I
that
apologize
is,
for missing
yeah.
Oh, that's okay.
Yep, so that's this.
Some will call it.
I was talking about multiple things at one time. Okay. All right, this seems very reasonable.
Any other questions? On a motion? Or do you want to bring those back up? I guess we've got two motions here.
Okay, I move to approve the request by Gary and Rebecca Tucker to utilize aggregation exemption as presented in the subdivision exemption affidavit.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Number two,
I would move to approve the request by Gary and Rebecca Tucker to utilize the family transfer exemption to create and transfer one parcel as presented in subdivision exemption affidavit.
Second.
any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Gary.
Thanks, Gary, for coming down this,
I
right?
appreciate it.
Hope you had other things in town.
I gotta go get my mother-in-law and take her to doctor's appointments.
Okay.
All right, thank you. That is the only business that we have for the second half of admin today, so we will be done.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.